Okay, y'all, we got one last interview. This one is completely non-MMA related. This is just a quick couple life questions for Mr. Yager over here. So, Lance Yager here, head instructor, all right? It's Select Jiu-Jitsu, awesome place. Would highly recommend it. Everything about it is just, it's phenomenal. And I would not sit here and promote something if I didn't really endorse it, because that's gonna make me look bad. So anyways, but this is a question about life. So lately, I've been trying to do the best I can to encourage people to step out of their comfort zones, to pursue their dreams, to pursue like life differently. And I guess I just want to hear just a quick, I didn't know the battery's gonna die. I guess we've been running it real long, but just the quick, like, what led you, correct me if I'm wrong, but this whole thing is your dream, correct?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what led you to this? Well, because the disclaimer, when I first met him, he was working the full-time job at REI, wanting to open an academy, and it was always I got this going on, but now he's actually got the academy. Like, what got you here?
Okay, so I'll try to make the long answer short. So I trained with Phil Cardello for a long time, and he was opening like a secondary, like a satellite school so that he could kind of grow jiu-jitsu inside of Austin. And he opened this up in Cedar Park, Texas, just north of Austin. And he introduced me. I was running the striking program for Phil's Academy in Austin, and he brought me into this to kind of start the kickboxing program at this academy as well. And this went on for about 3 weeks, and then he just, I was riding up there with him occasionally, and he had a conversation with me one time like, look, I'm leaving my 30 students at the Austin Academy to go teach 6 students at this Cedar Park Academy. At the time, I was like a 3 or 4 stripe blue belt. And he said, and these guys are all white belts. You're more than capable of teaching them. And now my teaching experience, I've been teaching my own classes since I was 13. So like the idea of structuring a class and having a class planned out, I've been doing that for a long time. It's instinctive. So he just kind of like passed it over to me, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I did that, and it wasn't long. I was promoted to purple belt a little while after that. I probably kept that up for like 6 months or so, just doing it on part-time. The guy was paying me by the class. And I was going to Austin Community College also full-time. And the owner of that, it was a Tung Sudo Academy, it was Peak Performance in Cedar Park. And the guy just said, hey, how about a salary? This is kind of what I feel this position's worth and everything. And it just kind of like hit me. I'm going to school to get some job to work. And this guy just offered me a salary to teach jiu-jitsu. And it just blew me away. I was like, okay. I hope he doesn't realize that I'm going to be here all the time. I hope he doesn't realize he just offered me the sweetest deal anybody's ever heard of. All my friends are going to be so jealous of this, but I just jumped on it. And that was my last semester at community college. I immediately told myself, oh, this is the degree, that black belt is the degree I want. I didn't even realize that I've been doing this since I was a kid. I was like, I've been preparing for this since before I knew I was preparing for this. And it just worked. I've been doing it ever since.
So
that was 6 years ago.
From anyone I've met so far, okay, and I know I haven't been doing this for very long, but from the people I've met so far who actually are pursuing their dreams, how would you describe because obviously there's no escaping mistakes, loss, and the difficulty and harshness, but versus the reward and how you feel internally about what you're doing. So could you describe that for us?
Yeah, I think we were having a conversation earlier about risk management, and I think that's a huge thing. You kind of look at the risk versus reward, and there's something that I went through discovery not too long ago. I was going through a course, self-development course that taught me quite a bit, and they were real big on distinctions. And one of the first distinction that really changed the path that I was going, or had an impact on my life, they made a distinction between expectation and commitment. And most people set their goals as an expectation. Like, for instance, how many people say, oh, one day I want to do this, but they never put a pen on paper and write it down? Or they never tell somebody, I want to do this. How many people have a dream that they've never shared it? And what happens, they kind of have this expectation, well, everybody else that's older kind of has their dreams come true, so I'm just going to work hard and I'll have it happen too. But an expectation is setting a goal, but when you don't meet that goal, you have upset. And when you have upset, then you have this bitterness, this negativity, this, this letdown. But the difference between expectation and commitment is that commitment, I set a goal, and if I fail, it doesn't change my goal. I'm still committed to achieving that goal. I'm just doing it from a different place. Now, if you look at each time I try, I climb up a mountain to get to the top. Well, if I find a roadblock that I can't go any further, I don't have to go back to the bottom. I can sidestep and find a new place, but I'm starting from a different place. I'm not starting at the bottom. And so that's really what it is. Where I am now, owning my own academy, started off with, Phil allowing me to trade my pay of tuition to teach the kickboxing class. That was the first step.
Let me challenge that for a second. My next question would be, a lot of people, including myself, would say, I would go after it, but insert excuse or legitimate reason, okay? Insert legitimate reason as to why they can't do it, okay? So whether it's, I don't have the money, or I'm in debt, or I have a family, or I have commitments, or I just don't have the means. I don't know where to begin. What is your personal answer to that?
Well, here's, you kind of gave me an easy one to hit here. So you used a word called reasonable. Well, it could be a reasonable excuse, or something that's reasonable. What's wrong with being unreasonable? So if I challenge myself to be unreasonable, then I step out of that comfort zone. And then that's where the creativity happens. That's where the magic happens. That's the good stuff. Reasons really aren't that much different than excuses. People reason themselves out of good ideas all the time. But when you decide, no, I'm going to be unreasonable when it comes to achieving my goal, to keeping my commitments, how many times have you been late to something because you had a good reason? Whereas if I really honor my word and I'm going to make that commitment, my commitment is to be somewhere at 6 o'clock and it's 5:45 and I'm in the middle of a real conversation, I get to be unreasonable. Go, hold on, I have a 6 o'clock commitment. I got to make it too.
All right, for them out there, what final encouragement do you have for them about the purpose of their life and what to do with it?
Do what you want to do. If you're not loving it, you're doing it wrong. I mean, you've got to... Yeah, life is supposed to be easy, not because you're lazy. It's supposed to be easy because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's why I didn't hesitate when I was offered a salary to do this. I just knew, oh, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. It was just absolutely, that was the correct answer.
Do you feel ever at all like you made the wrong choice?
Oh, no. I know 100% I'm
I didn't finish the question, y'all. What encouragement do you have for the people out there who are... Because just a disclaimer, I've already had some people who have reached out to me and they're trying to figure some of their stuff out. But you've already, you've accomplished what a lot of people want to accomplish. What's your biggest encouragement for them?
Well, whatever you say you're going to do, be thought out about it, have a plan, write that plan down, work that plan, and whatever you're going to do, you got to commit to it. I've always had it taught to me like, throwing your hat over the fence. Sometimes you have to, when your dream is sitting there right in front of you, you call that the fence. Sometimes you got to throw your hat over the fence and then do whatever you got to do to figure out how to get to the other side and get your hat. Sometimes there's a barrier in front of us, but you got to decide that my dream is more important than whatever I'm doing that's stopping me from doing that. So you just got to commit to it.
Okay. That works. Y'all, hey, Yager for you, all right? Thanks, bud.
Absolutely.
Boom.